He waited for the perfect moment to start. That moment never came. Two farmers received the same bag of seeds, same field, same tools, same opportunity. One farmer became wealthy. The other stayed poor his entire life. Not because of bad luck, not because of skill, but because one of them never planted. The difference between wealth and poverty isn't always about what you do. Sometimes it's about when you start. The first farmer's name was Hazen. The day he received his seeds, he looked at them and thought, I need to wait for the perfect time to plant these. He checked the sky. Clouds were forming. The weather doesn't look right. What if it rains too much? What if the seeds rot? I should wait for better conditions. Days passed. The weather cleared up. But now Hazen had a new concern. It's too sunny. What if there's a drought? What if the seeds dry out before they grow? I should wait until the conditions are more balanced. Weeks passed. Hazen kept finding reasons to delay. The soil wasn't perfect. He didn't have the best tools yet. He hadn't studied enough about farming. Other farmers around him were more experienced. What if he did it wrong? Every morning, Hazen woke up planning to plant. And every night, he went to bed with the seeds still in the bag. He told himself, tomorrow, when everything is ready, when conditions are perfect, when I know exactly what I'm doing. Months went by. The planting season was halfway over. Hazen still hadn't put a single seed in the ground. He spent his days thinking, planning, worrying, and waiting. Waiting for confidence, waiting for certainty, waiting for the perfect moment that would guarantee success. People in the village would ask him, Hazen, when are you planting? He'd always have an answer, soon. I'm just waiting for the right time. You can't rush these things. I want to make sure everything is perfect. But perfect never came. There was always something, always a reason, always a better time that existed somewhere in the future. 1 year passed. Hazen never planted. His bag of seeds sat in his house, untouched. He had spent an entire year preparing, planning, and waiting. And in that whole year, he grew nothing, made nothing, earned nothing. The second farmer's name was Yusuf. The day he received his seeds, he also looked at the sky. He also saw the clouds. He also noticed the soil wasn't perfect. But Yusuf did something different. He planted anyway. He didn't wait for perfect weather. He didn't wait until he felt ready. He didn't wait until he knew everything about farming. He just started. The first week was rough. Yusuf made mistakes. He planted some seeds too deep, some too shallow. He watered too much in one area and not enough in another. It wasn't perfect, but it was done. A few weeks later, small green shoots started appearing. Not all of them. Some seeds didn't grow. Some died early, but enough survived. Enough pushed through the soil and started growing. Yusuf kept working. He learned as he went. When something didn't work, he adjusted. When plants died, he replanted. He wasn't waiting for perfect conditions. He was creating progress in imperfect conditions. 3 months later, Yusuf's field was full of growing crops. Not perfect crops. Not the best crops anyone had ever seen, but real crops that would produce real food and real income. By the time harvest season came, Yusuf had food to eat and crops to sell. He made money, not a fortune, but enough to survive and reinvest in the next season. Meanwhile, Hazen still had his seeds in a bag, still waiting, still planning, still preparing for that perfect moment. Year arrived. Yusuf took his earnings from the first harvest and bought more seeds. This time, he knew more. He had experience. He understood what worked and what didn't. His second planting was better than his first. Hazen finally felt ready. He decided this was the year. He'd planned perfectly, but now he realized something terrible. His seeds were old. They had been sitting in his house for over a year. Most of them were dead, useless. He had to buy new seeds, but he had no money. He hadn't earned anything because he never planted anything. So now he was back at zero, but a year older and no smarter. By year 5, Yusuf was thriving. His farm was producing consistent crops. He had learned through trial and error. He had failed, adjusted, and improved. His income was stable. His future was secure. Hazen was still poor, still waiting, still looking for the perfect moment that would never come. One day, Hazen asked Yusuf, "How did you become successful?" "I had the same seeds, the same opportunity. What did you do that I didn't?" Yusuf looked at him and said, "I planted. You waited." Hazen said, "But I was waiting for the right time. I didn't want to fail." Yusuf replied, "There is no right time. There's only now. You can plant in imperfect conditions and grow something, or wait for perfect conditions and grow nothing." Here's the truth most people never accept. Perfect conditions don't exist. There will always be something wrong, always a reason to wait, always a better moment in the future. People say things like, "I'll start my business when I have more money," but that day never comes because they never start earning differently. "I'll invest when the market is better," but the market is never perfect, and while they wait, they miss years of growth. "I'll learn that skill when I have more time," but time doesn't appear. It gets taken by whatever fills it first. Hazen represents how most people approach wealth. They wait for perfect conditions. They wait to feel ready. They wait until they're sure they won't fail. And while they wait, life passes by, and they build nothing. Yusuf represents the people who actually get rich. They start before they're ready. They plant in imperfect conditions. They fail, learn, adjust, and grow. They understand that imperfect action beats perfect planning every single time. The people who succeed aren't the ones who wait for confidence. They're the ones who start without it and build it along the way. You don't need perfect conditions to start. You need to start to create better conditions. Every successful person you see started when things weren't perfect. They started scared, started unprepared, started without knowing how it would turn out. But they started, and starting is the difference between those who build wealth and those who dream about it. Hazen had seeds. Yusuf had seeds, but only one of them planted, and only one of them ate. Stop waiting for perfect. Start building in imperfect. The best time to plant was yesterday. The second best time is now. Subscribe for more wealth parables.